Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Thomas Podcast. Here today, we're back again. But we're back weekly now. The break is over. We're going to be back
Ah,
next
okay.
week, at least for a little bit. We might do 2 weeks in a row. Who knows? But I'm here with Reese, who
Wow.
obviously you saw. I think it was Monday. Was it Tuesday? I posted the vlog Tuesday.
Mom and Tuesday. It was very close to the event. I was quite surprised how quickly it was edited.
I mean, I
It was
edited it before the digitals came out, and then the digitals were out. So I just popped the digitals in.
very easy edit.
Um, but then it turns out that apparently when you export iPhone footage, it goes really overexposed. And then I was like, oh shit. And I didn't know how to fix it, so I just posted it. Everyone was complaining that it was horrible to watch. So I did a bunch of googling, and nobody could help me on YouTube. And it found out I had to go into the codec of the video, and it was a
I
pain
would
in
have
the
told you
ass.
that. I knew
Yeah,
that. You
but
should have asked me.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but I don't like giving you the satisfaction. And no, I'm joking.
Wow.
I could have asked. I think it was at like I did this at 2 a.m., mate. You were asleep, getting ready for work. I gotta be honest.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on Zoom the night it was posted. I was like, why is it so bright? And I was like, I don't know. It wasn't bright when I filmed it, and I export it. It just goes really bright. It's not.
Yeah,
And
I,
then
I had that when I was like doing like videos and that like YouTube ones. And I was like, what? And like you said, yeah, it's very silly. Very
yeah, it's a
silly.
very silly thing. Apparently, Apple and Premiere just don't like each other, and that's how that as Reese would say, them the breaks.
I was about to say it. I was about to say
Uh,
that.
but
Oh
yes,
no.
obviously today we're here to kind of do like a massive Phase 4 wrap up. We're going to talk about Wakanda Forever, the Guardians special, as well as we're going to do a Phase 4 ranking of most of the TV shows. I'm not going to include Werewolf by Night in mine because I've not seen it, and we're also not going to include Whatever I'm Group because they're sort of different. I feel like it's difficult to rank those because I'm Groot. I'll say it now. I had no issue with it, but it wasn't made for me. So I enjoyed what I saw, but it
It
was
that would
like
that'd probably be at the bottom anyway. So
yeah,
yeah.
not because
But
of its
like I said,
inherent quality, but because it's not made for
it's
20,
like
20
3 minute
plus year
shorts.
olds.
Yeah.
It's not made for 20 plus year olds to watch. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, Reese, how are you doing? Obviously, we did LFCC the other week. A week ago tomorrow. That's so weird. That's when we're filming it anyway. This is up Monday, but when we're filming it,
Okay.
we're filming this Friday. So a week ago, already it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, crazy. Yeah, no, good. Just kind of like you, the kind of post-con blues from LCC Winter. I was like, like I said, it was a really good weekend, and is obviously we've got the World Cup on, so
Yeah, it's
we
busy.
call this a Friday, so we got the England versus America tonight, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's weird. I live in Wales, so I literally cannot leave the house whenever England's on. Because here's the weird thing, right?
Uh,
I'm a big football fan, but I sort of don't. I'm pro Wales as well as pro England. Like, obviously, I want England to win more than Wales. But like, if you say that to us, it's like, why on earth do you want Wales to win? And if you go to an England
yeah,
person, like,
well,
why? What you say that to and then if you say it to a Welsh person, like, no, you can only pick one person. And England, I just like both teams, and also I have a friend in the Welsh team, and it's actually a friend. It's not someone that because yeah, he's my
oh
mate.
right,
No, I know him. I went to school with him. He was in my PE class, so we obviously
wow.
bred
I bet he's
champions.
really good at football then when he was in PE.
Yeah, oh yeah, massively. He was rarely in school because he was like in the academies and stuff, so he
Oh,
was like
okay.
rarely in. But he was in
Yeah,
my
but
GCSE PE class, and yes, that's right. I did take GCSE PE. I mean, look at me. You can just tell.
well,
Sports specimen right here.
well, at least if you support Wales and they lose, you can then just be like, "Oh, I support
Well, they
England now."
did. They did today. They lost. They lost to Iran, who England
Yeah,
battered 6-1, 6-2, something like that.
six. Yeah,
One,
6-2. I think it was. Yeah,
but as Reese would say,
them the breaks.
yeah,
Hasta
no
la
one's gonna.
vista, baby.
Yeah, essentially, last weekend for no reason, Reese just randomly started doing weird Boris Johnson quotes. I'd like to clarify for Reese that he is not a
I'm
Tory,
not a Tory. No,
um,
we did.
but
We did meet the Boris Johnson, though, didn't we?
we
Not
did. We
a
went for a drink
crosser.
with
Had
the
a trip with
impressionist.
Boris Johnson. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
very lovely lad. I think he's been on like the last leg and things like that. Really,
How is
really, really,
he?
really
We
talented
have his
impressionist.
We have his
Yeah,
card. Can look.
with business cards. Oh, is it going to fade away? Oh, it's not. It's not
Oh
getting there.
no. Hang
It's
on.
just becoming Disney are taking over this man's ad
So
spot.
this
There you
is
go.
card, and you can also do that's his number and that, and you can get
Yeah,
his
see, like, it says that he's been on the
cameos.
last leg. I've seen a Channel 4
Yeah.
lookalikes and the last leg. So yeah,
My mum thought it
yeah,
was the
nice
real
guy.
Boris Johnson.
Really, what?
She said, "Oh my god, so cool."
No,
So she went, "Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah." I was like,
no.
"Oh no, 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 no."
Oh, dude, that, I,
I was like,
God,
and then I was like, "Why do you think
your
we'd be in a
mum's the
pub?"
best. But
So why do you
like,
think he's like in a pub? Like, I
but
know
also,
he's not
if
promised
Boris
anymore.
Johnson was at our table, I'd tell him to fuck off.
Yeah,
Like,
like I
I
don't think
wouldn't.
of it. Come on in, Boris. You know, you fuck the
Yeah.
country. Come on, Boris.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh well.
but oh yeah, like you say, post-con blues. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Because once you've done with the con, you're sort of like, oh, thank God it's over. It's because it's so emotionally draining. And then you wake up the next day, even when for us when you get home, it's like, oh shit, that was actually really fun. You know, especially this one. Like it was the vlog's a bit weird because we didn't vlog any of the Sunday. I can tell you now, the Sunday actually was probably the better day in terms of con day. You know, obviously I had a great time on Saturday for obvious reasons, and you know, that wallet is over there. It's
Don't
there.
lose that wallet. Do not.
I'm not
Have,
going
have you
to.
took it out since? Have you? You need
No,
to get another wallet.
I've literally bought a new wallet today. So I'll
Oh,
have a new
nice.
wallet by the next podcast. I got one on Amazon, so Black Friday sales and all that. So like saved a bit
Yeah,
of
yeah,
money.
yeah.
You know, so that's why I waited because I was like, I don't want to pay 18 quid for a wallet and I can pay 9 quid. Um, so you know,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, just a really good weekend. Obviously, Matt Smith. If you guys haven't seen the vlog and you're just here as a regular podcast listener, go to the YouTube channel and watch the vlog because I those vlogs are always great. You know, I make fun of Reese a lot. There's a nice little cool zoom in thing. Essentially, I had to get my licks in because that's going to be mine and Reese's possible last ever like hurrahs are traveling down because you're
It could
commuting,
be.
aren't you? You're commuting now.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yeah. So,
so
it
that's
it
it.
could be the last one. Yeah.
That could be it. You know, so the vlogs, and you know, if I move down to London, the vlogs are going to become less special because it's not really like a travel vlog. It's like we're going to London Comic Con for the day instead of like the
Yeah.
travel and stuff. You know, so at least our last memory together sharing a hotel room is you going you ate Christmas. If that doesn't sum up the
Yeah.
trips
There was
together,
a.
I don't know.
There was a lot of times I thought we're on a genuine conversation, but no, it was just for the vlog.
Mate, but it made
Unaware.
the
I felt
vlog.
like I did Big Brother.
It made the vlog better.
I can't remember. I can't even say what the context was, so I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. I just started filming.
Yeah, I was.
Um, yeah, obviously to all that as well, we got Millie Gibson announced for a new companion. Obviously, we had Doctor Who there as well. Happy 59th
yeah. Whoop,
birthday
whoop. Happy birthday.
to Docky Who. Um, yeah, cool stuff. It was weird because I was talking to a good friend of the show, Adam Moon, the other night, and I was saying, oh, the announcements are great, but none of it I'm interested in. Um, in terms of I don't collect figures, there's no way I'm paying 70 quid for a big finish set. I know it's brilliant, but it's just not in my budget. Like I can't afford 70 quid's worth of audios. And I know obviously they
Apparently, it's
had
like
to,
separate releases. Apparently, throughout the
but
year. But yeah,
is it not like a multi-doctor story? Have they just, it's surely the last one is a multi-doctor thing.
I'd assume so. Yeah, so it's like him and is a doctor in the time when he starts to generate and then degenerates. So that's why you got the different faces. Apparently.
Oh, sweet, cool.
Hmm. But yeah, it's
Obviously we got
expensive. It's
the
expensive.
best the best thing about it for me. Well, I can understand why it's expensive. Look at the names of people that are in it. But like the best thing for me was seeing the new figures with the new branding on it, and I was going, I can see that on shelves and it looking wonderful. It no longer looks really dodgy. I don't collect figures,
Oh,
but one thing I do like about Doctor Who is when it's in the main eye, and part of that is figures and posters and all that sort of stuff. Again, I don't collect posters either, but that's because I live in a student dorm. If I put a poster up, I'd be killed. So can't put posters. You can't put posters up, mate. They will fine you. You're not allowed to. You
oh, I
can't do it.
see. Yeah, blue tack on the. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do it. You're not allowed.
You're
Um,
banned. Yeah.
you're banned. So this is my last year of living in student dorm, so which is very bizarre. So maybe next year when I'm back
You might see
home,
some. You might see some. He might do his own studio set and put posters
a
up.
post grad
Postcard post posters.
living back with my mum goes back into the massive nerd phase.
Then the
You know,
breaks.
for a little bit until hopefully I can move to London. But
Yeah.
anyway, shall we get into the start of this? We're gonna also today is the 25th of November, so the Guardians holiday special has come out. We're going to talk about that. I would say spoiler warning. There's nothing really heavy, but if you haven't seen it yet, don't want to get spoiled. Then
Do
the
watch it.
breaks. Go watch it. Skip a
My heart
bit.
is very full. Yeah. It's very.
Yeah. So essentially, the plot of this one is very brief. After the events of Avengers Endgame, Peter's feeling a bit down. He doesn't know what to do. He's feeling a bit down. He's lost Gamora, and it's Christmas time. Apparently, they find out through they call it the multiversal calendar or something. Um, and essentially, Mantis is like, I've been harboring this secret that I'm actually Peter's sister, and she wants to make it up to him and bring Christmas back to Peter. So, what is her great idea? To go and steal the great legend himself, the hero Kevin Bacon from Earth. And that's kind of the plot. And it's her and Jack's going to
Yeah.
go get Kevin Bacon to save Christmas for Peter Quill. Yeah, just really fun, mate. Nothing heavy, but just really fun. It's James Gunn essentially being able to take the reins off a little bit of the Marvel formula and sort of just do a James Gunn type script, and it works well. What do you think?
I loved it. Yeah, like you said, it's not going to be an Avengers level thing, but it was a very nice kind of intermediate thing between Guardians 2 and 3. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was just lovely seeing it, and I now I just say I'm not like a super Christmassy person, but now I'm in the mood for Christmas, and yeah, really emotional. We got brief glimpses into like we got introduced the space dog who will be making a full appearance in Guardians 3, which is like May next year, I think. So not too long
Mate,
away.
everything's coming quick, and we got Ant-Man coming out as well. And then what is it? The Marvels next year? Is that the three? Is it Ant-Man, Guardians, Marvels?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Marvel's after.
What a start to Phase Five, by the way. That is a quality year.
Yeah, gonna be good.
Buzzing.
But yeah, this was it was a like Werewolf by Night. It kind of gives the opportunity to do something like this, which is not worthy of a movie and not worthy of a full on 6-part TV show. Um, and yeah, my heart, I say, it's so emotional. Lovely insight into
Yeah.
all the different characters. Yeah, it just being back in that world at Christmas is great.
Massive shout out to Pom Klementif, actually, because I think we could all say
Takes
before
a
this,
lead. Yeah.
she was probably not, I wouldn't say everyone's least favorite Guardian, but I think the one that we knew the less about. I think she was the Guardian that we got Mantis. What do you think? And we all go, well, she's likable and funny, but we don't know much about her. And it's nice that this kind of, I think James Gunn put it in an Instagram post that she's going to be a main part of volume 3. So I think it's a nice bridge for her. She's really good at the emotional stuff as well, like you say, especially Chris Pratt. And, I think it's a really fun story. I love the ending when he goes, "Does that mean you're my sister?" That's the best Christmas gift of all. I think I do. I do to get
The
them hugging.
tears
It's
are
like,
like,
oh, so good.
yeah.
Yeah, as well, Kevin Bacon is just really funny in it. I've a soft spot for Kevin Bacon. Does he piss me off with his phone ads all the time? Yes. No, Kevin, I do not want to get an EE contract. Go piss off. But
I'm surprised I wasn't in this. And
but
maybe imagine if his like phone was like when his wife rang, it was like, "EE."
use EE. But
I'm not
no,
on EE.
really, really cool.
How do you get EE in space?
Nice to have a Michael Rooker cameo. It's a shame that they obviously couldn't get him physically there. Otherwise, I assume that animated bit probably wouldn't have been animated. That might have just been a stylistic thing. But
I don't know if that was or not because I don't know if that does kind of like a homage to like classic Christmas animation.
yeah, that's what I mean. But either
Yeah,
way, I mean, the animation looked cool. But it's good to have Rooker back. It's a very small bit. Just adds to the brilliant character that is Yondu, and I'll forever love Yondu. But
yeah, it's very
yeah,
clever because you got the big bit at the beginning and the end, and then Chris Pratt's like, "Yeah, you don't know, you didn't tell you the full story," and it ends
yeah.
heartfelt. Yeah,
I love the fact that we see Drax and Mantis just go on a night out. That's hilarious. They just get
I,
steaming. I like the fact that Drax almost murders someone. That's really funny to me.
oh
When
yeah.
he flips the car over and she goes, "Man, Drax, you can't kill people. How am I supposed to know the rules? No one tells me."
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, and then he starts beating up that
yeah,
cosplayer, didn't he? In the
yeah. It's
TLC
really like
theater, yeah.
Dave Bautista. I think is one of the most underrated actors in the MCU because I think he is so funny. Like I get that Drax's character's evolved from this kind of like he was stoic in the
Yeah.
first one, and it's still funny, and they kind of evolved in sort of what they did with Thor, but to a lesser extent. But I think
Hmm.
it works for a Christmas special. I'm not. I think they're brilliant. I love his little arc where he gets the small elf, the blood elf thing, and he really wants it. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's just really nice to see the Guardians on Earth. You know, it's a shame it wasn't Peter Quill. Hopefully, we get that at some point. 'Cause I think that'd be a nice little moment if he can return to Earth properly. I know he was there in Endgame, but he never remarks, "Oh shit, I'm back on Earth, baby." You know, because there
Yeah.
was no time. There was no time. But it's really nice to see the guy. My only, it started to rain outside. The only sorry if you can hear like pitter patter on the window, but
No,
it's a
I can't.
shame that they did the Doctor Who thing where people are surprised to see aliens.
They're
Like
surprised to see a spaceship, but then walking around, they weren't
Kevin
like,
Bacon's like, "You're aliens, what on earth?" And it's like, do you not know that?
Thanos.
Do you not know that aliens exist yet? It's fine, but everyone's just don't know. It's like Christmas special. I'm not complaining. I just want. It always kind of makes me go. I get why you're writing it like this, but it kind of, you know what I mean. You get what I'm trying. You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It's better Doctor Two. Like they keep having that problem with Doctor Two. It's like they need to try and keep kind of getting people to forget. So it's like, oh, aliens, ah. I say those two, they stole the show, two great leads. Like I said, with Mantis, obviously she was introducing Guardians, then you had Endgame and Infinity War, so you couldn't really do much in that. So I'm glad what she did in this. I think it was great to see her emotional side, and I can't wait to see her fully explored more in Volume 3. Um, but yeah, just the comedy was great.
New
And
group.
just
We got to have a look at the new group. Who's like, I guess,
and the CGI was
adult.
amazing
Yeah,
compared
really
to
good.
that Iron Group shorts, because I thought Rocket at the end was not very good at all, but in this it was like film level. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. It was good.
Well, it's James Gunn, isn't it? It's not going to be anything but decent looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
As well, not enough Karen Gillan for me, but I'll say that in anything where she only appears for about 30 seconds. I had the
Well,
same
she
problem with
gave.
Thor. I had the same problem with Thor: Love and Thunder. She had one line. In this, she maybe had four, one of which is Kevin Bacon. I will get to, which was hilarious, and we saw her do some dance moves. But you
That
know,
was funny.
it's fine. She had a lot to do in Endgame, so I can't complain. Um,
I'm
also,
interested if they
bang.
take a story after in Guardians 3 because obviously like she's her father's dead, so like what does she? Yeah, it'd be
Well, it's
interesting
going
to
to
see
be
what
about
happens.
her trying to find her sister, and I suppose it's as much a story for her
Yeah.
as it is for Peter. You know, but yeah, for me, the soundtrack was great as well. We had obviously we had Fairy Tale New York,
Favorite Christmas
Waitresses.
song.
You know, is that your favorite Christmas song? Is it? Oh
Yeah.
wow, fair dues. It's not a bad one. You know, I'm a big fan. You know, my favorite is
So when
probably
it kicked off that, I was like, yes.
do you know Shakin' Stevens? Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, yeah, for me easy. I had the waitresses, and you also had two new songs as well, which are all kind of alien themed. With Kevin Bacon getting on the mic at the end, which is always great. But yeah, but that's exactly what I want Disney Plus shows to be. Like, I understand people are paying a lot. Like, for some people, it's going to be a lot of money. That 99 a month.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think people always expect, especially with some of the Disney Plus shows, this level of, it has to be filmic level of quality, which is it's just not going to be. The Disney Plus shows and specials are there to kind of make you be a bit entertained, and also if you're getting the most of your subscription, if you like Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars, you're getting a lot for your 7.99. I mean, Andor's been out for the past 10 weeks or something. That's a new episode every
Yeah,
week.
12 weeks. Yeah.
You've got the backlog of everything. Like you've literally got everything on there. Bear in the Big Blue House got added last month. Go watch that. Binge Bear in the Big Blue House if you want to. I just no, it's exactly what I want from Disney Plus specials, mate. I need to watch Werewolf by Night because it did miss me because I am the Grinch of Halloween. And I was like, no, don't like Halloween. No, not. I wasn't
Well,
avoiding it. I wasn't avoiding it on purpose. I just forgot it came out. Um,
you'll see by
uh,
my rankings how good I think it is.
yeah, I haven't put it in mine, so he's just gonna have one extra
Yeah.
above than me. But yeah, the Guardian special, I'm going to say it's good. I'll probably watch it again before Christmas because it's one of those things you can easily just put on and watch it. And
Maybe watch it next year. I think it's a new Christmas classic, in all honesty.
yeah, and also there's a nice little post credit scene at the end as well, which is cool. With
That was funny.
Group being Christmas tree, and then him being like no, and then Rocket going, we're gonna have to have another special.
Nah,
I'd love it. Do it. Why not?
bring it on. Bring it
I'd
on.
love it with different like characters. Like I'd love an Ant-Man Christmas special. Like what's Ant Man get up to at Christmas? You know. Um,
Yeah.
you looked confused there. Paul Rudd in a Christmas special. Is that not one of the best pairings
Uh,
ever? You get Paul
but
Rudd with Christmas.
Paul Rudd, yeah, probably not Ant-Man. I don't know, not really like.
Oh
No.
come on, you Grinch. Yeah, no, proper good stuff. I think that's really fun. Christmas
Christmas is
vibes.
now here. Chris is not here with this film.
Yeah, exactly as the song says. I don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here. So let's move on to Wakanda Forever,
Mm.
the latest Marvel Studios film. One which has obviously had a lot of behind the scenes turmoil after the death of Chadwick Boseman. And you did a script rewrite from Ryan Coogler, and that is what this film is about. It is about Chadwick Boseman. Wakanda Forever's plot essentially is Wakanda grieving throughout the film, and essentially within that, it's about this character called Namor or Namor. I know his character comic name is Namor, but they call him Namor in the film, so
Namor, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Namor. Um, Essentially, his civilization is under threat because of what Wakanda did at the end of the last film, opening up to the world. The regular, I said the regular people, the people from the rest of the world have found a way to track vibranium, and it turns out that Namor's kind of space has some vibranium. Shock! There's more than one place with vibranium in the world, and essentially Namor's place has been under attack, and Namor has a lot against the surface world. So he says, "Wakanda, will you join me in taking out the surface world? If not, we'll take you with them, but we'll take you first." And that's the plot, and it's about how does Wakanda move forward? Will there be a new Black Panther? How is Shuri dealing with it? Because this is Shuri's film, as well as much as it is Chadwick Boseman's kind of send off, if you like. And that's kind of the plot. I haven't really missed anything, have I? That's kind of the basic plot.
I think if John was here,
He'd be much
like,
better.
bam, bam, bam. Yeah, he'd be like,
But I think I've hit all the keynotes, haven't I? Yeah.
Yeah, roughly. We'll talk about more specific stuff when we get into it. But yeah, that's like a kind of spoiler free ish.
Yeah, right. We'll go spoiler free for now. So
Okay.
so for those who haven't seen, because I understand that everyone can't get out to see a film in the first couple of weeks. People busy, and also
Which we did, yeah.
there's a cost of living crisis. So I understand if you have to wait until you can go see it. So we'll give you a bit of a spoiler free, so you guys who do want to not get spoiled can go watch it. First of all, really, really great job. Really great job from everyone involved. I can't imagine this film was easy to write for Ryan Coogler and the team. I also can't imagine that it was easy to shoot for everyone involved. Really difficult that thing to deal with, and I have my full empathy with the cast, crew, just everyone involved, and they smashed out the park for me, mate. I saw it a week ago, and I still think my thoughts haven't changed. I think it's a triumph in filmmaking. I think it's tremendous in what it's trying to do. Obviously, it has its faults, as any film does, but this film essentially had two jobs to do. It had to give us a new Black Panther, but it also had to give a surprise send off to the old Black Panther. And I think it does that tremendously. I think it has one of the best villains in the MCU. I think Ryan Coogler just knows how to write bad guys, it seems, because both of his villains have been two of the best. I think what I would say, it's got better fighting than the first one. I think the visuals are better in this. For what I'd say, because the visuals kind of suffered in the last one. And I think overall it's a really good time. I think Angela Bassett steals the show, no doubt about it. She is tremendous in this. If she won an Oscar for it, she won't, but she should.
She should.
Because
she
should honestly, because she was tremendous. Yeah, I think it's just a very, very good film. Highly would recommend you guys see this one. It's highly emotional though. Don't go there. Don't go into the cinema and expect like a fun, happy Marvel film. Of course, there are jokes, there are laughs, there are fun moments to be had within it. But yeah, I think that Marvel could be proud of this one, in my opinion. What about you?
Yeah, I think the joke side, I think it feels earned, doesn't it? Like compared to Love and Thunder, which is like a joke every minute. This is like, it's rightfully done. Overall force of the film, yeah, up there with the best of Phase 4. I think it defied the impossible, like the odds against this film. Dealing with like obviously like Chadwick's loss. It's very good because obviously the actors are bringing the real life emotions to the characters, but it doesn't feel like the actors are speaking. It feels like the characters grieving as well. So I think as a incredible job all round. The main cast, obviously like Angela Bassett, Lupita Wright, all the other Wakandan cast. I think we're just a game. Yeah, beautifully shot. Like you said, Namor. I think one of the best villains. Like you said, I think give Coogler, Secret Wars. That's my bit for directing. I
Yeah,
think it,
no, absolutely.
um.
Yeah, I don't. You looked a bit indifferent. I think the action's better in this one.
So
Um,
I feel I prefer the first film. My only yeah, like my only issues with it really was I feel it's too long. I felt it was too long.
yeah,
Like so like Endgame, for example, doesn't, even though it's 3 hours, doesn't feel like that. I felt the length of this film.
you felt the length, yeah.
Watching it.
Do you know
Um,
what? Do you know what I'd say? I'd say obviously I'd give 15 minutes of this to Thor: Love and Thunder and take 15 minutes out of this film because
mm,
Thor: Love and Thunder was a film that was too short. And we like when we did our review of that, we were saying something was missing, although we enjoyed it quite a lot. Whereas this, not everything that's in here, when we get into spoilers, we can talk about it, not everything that's in here needs to be in this film.
mm. It just
You
felt
know,
just be tightened up slightly. Yeah, like
yeah.
2.5 hours maybe.
Whereas
Yeah,
Thor: Love and Thunder was 2 hours and could have been 2:15, and actually he needed that because Gore the God Butcher didn't do any God butchering, and that's kind of a bit of a strange thing to call your
yeah.
god or call your villain the God Butcher, and he doesn't butcher any gods apart from the
On
first.
CCTV in the Garden State.
Yeah, but yeah, this film. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm not the biggest admirer of the 2018 film. When I say that, it's one of the best MCU films, but I don't think it's like top tier. Um,
Okay.
but like I think it's tremendous, and I would say this one isn't as good as that, but I think it would be impossible to be as good as that in the sense of given the time that they had, and obviously this was going on through COVID as well. Like you can't, there's so many factors
The
against
odds
it.
were against them. Yeah.
You
So
know,
it's amazing that such an amazing film has come out of it. Yeah. No, incredible job.
I would say this film has higher highs than the first one, but lower lows. I think the first one's more consistent throughout. This one,
Mm,
there are moments where I go, "Holy shit, that's like some of the best scenes in the MCU." And then there are some scenes where I go, "This doesn't need to be in this film," and it's just kind of
mm,
I'm bored now. Um,
mm.
but yeah, overall, I'd say it's definitely one of the best of Phase Four. Possibly
Yeah.
one of the best. We'll have to see if it stands the test of time to be like in the best of the MCU, but it's certainly a
Mm.
contender to be in that bracket for sure. It certainly sticks the Black Panther films as two of the most solid MCU outings. To wrap up the non-spoiler section, I'd say it's definitely
Yeah, I don't
the
know how I don't know how my thoughts would be in the whole of the MCU, but in Phase 4, it's the top tops. It's in the top
yeah,
tops.
it's in the top
Um,
tops. Right,
yeah.
let's go to our non-spoiler part. So now we're going to go spoilery. We're not going to go in order of the film because we'll be here all day. I'm going to go actually. I'm going to start negative because I always do that if I have less negatives to do.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
only have a
Come out
few
the way.
negatives with this film. Number one, the whole Everett Ross subplot is my least favorite thing about this film because
Mm,
I understand obviously he is a Black Panther character, I guess, he was in the first one. And maybe with the original script, he would have had more to do with the actual plot because I think the writer, that not Ryan Coogler, but the co-writer, did say in the original script there was a US invasion of Wakanda, which possibly he would have had something to do there. But in this version of the film, he's just stuck with Val, and it just feels like Thunderbolt set up
mm.
in
Yeah.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and he doesn't feel linked to the plot really at all.
And then there's a scene where they're like, him and Val are like, "Oh, meeting these people, like, we're going to invade Wakanda," and it's like nothing happens. Like, what is that for? Yeah, that was like that should have been
Yeah.
deleted. That was like
Yeah.
silly.
I do like the fact that Everett Ross and Val have a secret. Like they used to be
Yeah,
together because I think that gives Everett Ross more to do in future properties. I think he's in Secret Invasion. I think that's what I was told he's in Secret Invasion. So that's the next time I'm going to see him. But I don't really understand why he's in this. I understand obviously contracts are a weird thing, and because Martin Freeman was contracted to be in it beforehand, he had to be in it in some capacity, and then just thought, right, what can we do? That And even Martin Freeman's not bad in it. Like he's really like Martin Freeman always gives a good performance in anything he's in, always solid. It just he sort of feels shoehorned in because he never goes to Wakanda, never goes to Atlantis or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they actually call it in the film. That's my bad. I know Namor is originally from Atlantis in the comics, but I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, it's a side plot which is for later on. I
Yeah,
feel like the Thunderbolts is possibly going to be like them trying to get Wakanda. So it's going to depend years down the line how important this is. But in the moment, it just felt a side film. It was like, oh well,
yeah,
I don't want this. Thank you. Give me.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But the thing is, I understand if it was going to be for them trying to explore like the outer thing of like what the rest of the world thinks of Wakanda and stuff, but it would never
Yeah,
it never went to anything. It was like they said, "Oh, there's going to be invasion of where US are going to invade Wakanda." Doesn't
yeah.
happen. So it was like, yeah, yeah,
It just yeah, it's good to it's always good to see Val. I think I forget what the actress is called, but Julia Louis Dreyfus is always fantastic, and I can't wait to see her properly in a series or film in Thunderbolts. I'm excited to see how good because she is very good. I'm excited to see what she can do in that. But yeah, it felt like that was tacked on. Apart from that, the Midnight Angels, I think they're called introduction
mm.
was just really bizarre. And again, I think the costumes look disgraceful. The joke in the film is that Okoye doesn't like the suits. I didn't think it was a joke. I just thought she was correct. To be honest with you, I don't know
Yeah.
if I.
And now everybody has an Iron Man suit now. It's like you get an Iron Man suit, you get an Iron
And you
Man
get an
suit.
Iron suit. The only
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that makes sense to have one is Riri Williams. Because
yeah. It kind of takes away from her then. I think
yeah, we'll
give
get
her
on to
them that.
Riri in a bit because Riri is certainly not in my negatives of the film. I actually very much enjoy Riri Williams in this film. But yeah, it just was like all the future setup in this was maybe in the original script it made more sense, and they had to coattail all the setup because they wanted a more focused story, and they had to take minutes away from the setup to focus on the teacher right and the funeral and
Mm.
T'Challa and all that, and that just got laid off. But yeah, for me, it's just it's a shame. But overall, Matt, I think those are like my only massive negatives of the film. That doesn't mean
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that everything that we're going to talk about now is perfect, but I think in terms of big negatives, that's really it. Which for a Marvel film anyway is quite surprising because even the ones I like Endgame, for instance, which is my favorite, I can see the negatives within that. If you know what I mean, I know I can see where people go, "Oh, Infinity War's better," which as a film it probably is. But I don't really
yeah.
care. But like
It
this one,
in a
oh god,
positive way. This didn't really feel like a Marvel film to me. In honesty, I
yeah,
think it stands on its own. Really, like really, we need to watch is the first Black Panther film, which is
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, this
absolutely.
looks stunning.
Um, All right, let's get the emotional stuff out of the way now. This film
Mm.
opens up beautifully with the funeral of T'Challa, with
Mm.
stunning visuals, stunning music. Overall, they smashed it. Very emotional from the off. I don't really tear up at films like this, but you're definitely you're feeling something. Yeah,
That
yeah,
No, I was gonna say that's when the kind of cinema experience really kicks in because like when you're at the logo when they play a logo after the funeral and there's silence, like you could hear a pin drop and like there's you could I don't know if
yeah,
you heard, but there's like people crying behind us and
yeah, exactly.
it's like and obviously the opening scene was Sherry trying to find the cure. I was quite surprised they'd um kind of feed in the real life thing of like him dying of an illness.
Yeah,
Um
but I'm happy as well that they didn't over dramatize it. I'm happy he didn't die in battle or something because that would have felt
yeah, that was a rumor. I was like,
disrespectful. That would have
yeah.
disrespectful. I'm happy that they just call it an illness. I'm happy that instantly you start on Shuri in this as well. I think because it's really important to see because the issue is with the untimely death of Chadwick going. Shuri's not really in the first Black Panther all that much. They get that first scene in the lab together where they have that little chat and she does the what are those at the sandals, blah, blah, blah. They don't really interact that much because the film's more about Nakia and T'Challa more than it is.
Mm.
So it's good that from a storytelling standpoint, it's good that this first scene is about her because the film is about her. But like you say, mate, the fanfare in this, the regular Marvel Studios fanfare, is replaced with scenes of Chadwick Boseman
Yeah.
over silence this time. Not like they did with Stan Lee, where in the Captain Marvel film, they obviously had the regular music and Stan Lee was in everything. This time it's over silence, and it's the most powerful thing. Like you said, you do a pin drop.
Mm.
It's it really sets you up for that. You know what this film's going to be, and also I think it's nice that I'll describe it. It's this is no disrespect to Chadwick when I say this. I'm happy they got the funeral stuff done at the beginning because I think that for the film, like Chadwick Boseman is in this film throughout, not literally, but you feel the impact. But I
Presence,
think,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I think it's good that they did that so that you because I think that would play on everyone's minds as well. If they didn't do that at the
Yes.
very start of the film, it would make the film a lot more hard to watch.
It yeah, it addresses it like it addresses his death straight away. You have a kind of grooving thing. So once the credits are kind of done, obviously, like you said, his presence throughout the film, but then you can kind of concentrate then on it's got that out of the way, so then you can kind of work on like the name or plot and
Yep.
show him become black and etc. etc. So otherwise it would have been like that's what you would have been thinking, like, what's happened? Where is do you mean? Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, tremendous. But yeah, and obviously then we get Shuri essentially just shutting down for this film. She doesn't want to grieve him.
mm.
She says she wants to burn the world, which is obviously is very similar to Eric Killmonger, which we'll get onto a bit later. Um, and yeah, I think one thing I want to say is no matter what the controversy is around her and whatever you may think, I think Letitia Wright smashed this.
Yeah,
Like,
her and Angela Bassett. Wow, yeah,
oof.
not taken away from. I think all of them really.
The
But those
cast.
two.
Let's be honest. This couldn't have been easy to film. Like I said at the start of this kind of review, this could not have been easy to
No,
film
no.
in any sense. And I can imagine, especially even the grieving scenes could be even more difficult because you want to give a performance that is credible, but also you are really grieving. How do you? As someone who isn't an actor, how do you balance that? That cannot be easy to switch the camera on and have to automatically start crying, but are you know how can you control it so that you don't lose the performance in that? It's a tremendous triumph, really. And like I said, I don't envy the cast at all because that couldn't have been easy. It couldn't have been fun. Filmmaking is fun. This film couldn't have been fun to make. Let's be honest.
Well, there was an interview with Angela Bassett, and she said before they started filming, they flew out to Chadwick's grave and did like
Mm.
this like ceremony thing. So they kind of got out of the way, and then as well, like they said, his presence was like that was obviously they were always thinking about that in each scene. So like like you said, as I said earlier, I think it could quite easily be like them just not having to act really because you know they're like when they're talking about like Chogonet, it's like I was watching it thinking, oh, he's actually he's dead. This is like it's very surreal. But no, they managed to perform their characters amazingly and channel their personal grief within their characters.
Yeah,
So yeah, this must have been not an easy film to make, but they want to kind of continue Chad's legacy, and I think behind this, the actors and the crew etc. and did pulled off an impossible task. Yeah, so definitely
absolutely.
difficult.
Um, yeah, we'll get on to more of the Angela Bassett stuff in a bit. Also, we want to give
Mm,
a quick shout out to, excuse me if I get the name wrong, Tenok Herter, who played Namor. If that is, I'm sorry if I butchered the name there. Names are not my strong point, but I think
mm.
it's Tenok is how you would pronounce that. Namor, who he's fantastic.
Wowzers,
He's
out there the best.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it's interesting to see how we'll get on to perhaps potentially the future of Namor. I don't think this is the only appearance, but
No, no.
you know, but I think in this film very good because as well, uh, the way they write his character, I don't know if this was always their intention or not. It's a very alluring thing for Shuri to be like, I could turn to the dark side. I could be like him because of my grief, because of my anger towards the
Mm.
world. I think that's a really good storytelling device. Essentially, does Shuri go down that Killmonger path? Obviously, when later on in the film as well, we get that kind of more head on. But I think overall, he's really good. Again, what he's also very relatable. Like you understand his pain, you understand why what he wants. It really his hate comes from protection of this beautiful thing that he has under the water,
Mm.
and we see the beautiful land
Yeah, yeah.
that he has, and he just goes the wrong way about it. It's kind of similar to Killmonger, but I think you can empathize more with Namor especially because it comes from that. But again, Kugler is this amazing thing of kids seeing this one thing and that bit them seeing it as a kid, and that corrupts them. And they grow
Mm.
up believing that. We had the same thing with Killmonger, where young Killmonger finds his dad dead in the room, and that kind of corrupts him for the rest of the time, and all this sort of
Mm.
stuff. With Namor, it's his mum getting killed by, or no, his mum's place where they were born getting overthrown by invaders. Um,
Mm.
all
Yeah,
that sort of
I even thought the parallels between their
yeah.
both villains' tries. Um, yeah, like you said, I just think I think with Namor, Killmonger, Thanos, what they're doing is wrong, but you're emotionally with them.
Yeah,
It's so
absolutely.
surreal. It's like I kind of agree with Jim, but I completely understand. And you're with him, so no, and obviously you get a beautiful sequence of him showing Shuri around
Yeah.
Telecan. Telecan is that how you say it? Yeah,
Talokan, yeah, Talokan, thank
Telecan.
you.
Sorry, yeah. Um, and that's like I was thinking, sod Avatar, the Way of Water. I'd
I
rather see
mean,
these three people.
I'm yeah, I'm saying it now. We're not getting a podcast review Avatar because I will not be watching it.
Well,
And
yeah.
there's some of those that's really good, but I thought the first one was, as John would say, toilet. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
intend to go see the second one. But no, yeah, really, really good stuff from him. And I think as well, he doesn't become villainous. I think that's kind of the issue with some of these villains in the MCU. Not Killmonger, but he's already from the off going, I'm just gonna take you out if you don't. There's no level of randomly switching to a villain at the last minute and going, oh no, I'm angry. He's angry from the beginning. We just slowly realize why he's angry, and that's the more interesting point of the
Mm.
story. Um, as well, I think it's a really cool introduction that we get with Ramonda going to the UN, and we see this sequence on a boat where I think it's the French are invading this Wakandan outpost.
Hmm.
And it turns out that had already happened as Ramonda is in the UN. It's a really cool sequence where essentially Ramonda goes, you can come at us if you like, but now you guys know that the French have invaded us. If this is what you want to do, come at us because we will take you down.
Come at me, bro. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Uh,
and
yeah, that was a very cool editing because, like you said, you think it's going on at the same time, but no, it's obviously in the past, and yeah,
yeah, I love the fact she goes, you think that we're mourning our king, and you think that makes us weak, and it's Angela Bassett, just take a bow in this film. Like honestly, she was tremendous.
yeah,
Um, but I think the plot makes sense as well. I like the fact that I think it's a really cool introduction to Riri Williams. You know, it shows off her smarts that she is probably, apart from maybe Tony Stark, if he was still with us, could find and track
R.I.P.
vibranium. It already shows us that she's really smart and sets up for the Ironheart series. And I think Dominic Thorne was tremendous. I like the one thing that this did is it did win me over on her and the series, which is important. It
Yeah.
didn't with the Midnight. It didn't with the the Midnight Angels. I think that's what they're called, and the Ross side of things. But with
Mm.
Ironheart, I was like, yes, I'll watch that. She's really cool.
Yeah, I was kind of a bit skeptical going in because I was like, oh, the Iron Man thing, but she stood on her own. She was kind of the comic relief of the film, but not outright. Like she's in great commentary. Like she makes some great comments about certain situations. But I loved her. Yeah, it's a really smart, really funny, badass when she's in the suit. So bring on that Disney Plus show. Yeah, yeah, I'm very
Absolutely.
very hyped.
Um, Also, I have to give we're just going to give shout outs to the cast really, but you have to. Denai
Yeah.
Guerrera in this film is also brilliant because essentially, because of the loss of Chadwick, every kind of our main established characters takes a step up from the place that they were in last film. So obviously, you had
Mm.
Chadwick was number one build, and then possibly apart from your villain, you had Shuri at number two, and so they kind of all got one a bit in the pecking order. And so, Okoye in this one was a more emotional core to her because essentially at one point she takes Shuri with her to find Riri Williams. Because essentially Namor has gone. I think he's gone like you need to find the scientist, or I'll just straight up kill her. So
Yeah.
it's up to you. So they go get her. They essentially try and bring her to Wakanda for safety, but they get intercepted, and Shuri is end up in the water. Ramonda thinks she's dead, and you get this thing of like Ramonda shouts at her and goes, "I have lost everything. My family are gone," and it's a brilliant scene. You can see Okoye crying as Okoye has given everything for Wakanda as well. Even when Killmonger took over, she was under Killmonger's reign. She listened to the kings. Like she loves the country that much.
Yeah, it's really lovely because she says like you can go because obviously the last film, I guess ex-boyfriend, was obviously put in jail, and she's like, you can go see him. I have lost everything. Yes, it was just like,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
shame. It's a shame for this one that we couldn't get the what's his name? Well, I'm gonna hit was Daniel Kaluuya couldn't be in this film.
mm.
The good thing about this is it does lead him to be able to come back in another one. He was just busy. I think he was filming that John Peel movie at the time, so he just
Oh
couldn't do
no,
it.
that's a good film.
Yeah, I
Well,
haven't seen it,
you know,
but
it would have been a cool cameo, but I don't know what story kind of. So even
the
the
thing
third
is,
one,
the thing is with Daniel Kaluuya, he's such a good actor. Just give him a better role. Give him a higher role and he'll make it work.
yeah,
I have a lot of time for Daniel Kaluuya. I think he's rather brilliant. Since his days in Johnny English too. If you forget he's in that
and
movie,
Planet of the Dead for Doctor Who.
indeed. Um,
Ha.
but yeah, it's just really cool stuff. The fight sequences in this are really good. The end one kind of becomes your regular Marvel fanfare of a bunch of people just whacking each other with different fire shots. But there is a really cool
Yeah,
Black Panther and Namor fight, which is very good. That's a cool fight. But the main like there's a big explosiony thing, like you say, everyone gets an Iron Man suit for some reason, and
mm.
it's like it's just a bit dumb. Um, I like the whole thing of, oh, we have to dry Namor out and he'll become weak, sort of thing. I think that's a cool little motif. It adds a bit of strength into the fight.
Yeah.
Sure, he gets impaled though, and there's no blood on the piece of wood.
She's fine after that.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Disney. I guess we can say shit in your films, but we can't say a little trickle of blood because the kids will cry. But at least they don't have to swear. Um, but overall, the fight sequences are good in this. I think they look better than the first one. And obviously we've heard the controversy of how hard the CGI people have worked. And I'm not gonna have a go at them. I'm gonna have a go at Marvel for the deadlines that they set and the amount of pressure they put on the CGI people to make the CGI look good. Because
mm.
God forbid if the CGI looked just that little bit better in the first Black Panther, that ending fight could have been really cool. But every time I watch Black Panther, it falls flat. In this one, the ending fight looks really good. Flashbacks of Shuri seeing Ramonda and going, and all that sort of
That
stuff.
was
Really
nice.
cool
Yeah.
stuff. Obviously, in the middle part of the film, with the big invasion of Wakanda with the water stuff, possibly one of the coolest. I'm not going to say it's an action sequence, but one of the coolest sequences in Marvel so far. So you're seeing like this rescue mission plus a fight sequence. You see M'Baku just get absolutely mugged off by
Yeah.
Namor.
Yeah, I was
Um,
cool. Slow mo breaks his suit and he just, oh, yeah.
I thought he was dead then. I was like, oh no. I was like, not
Yeah.
M'Baku. But unfortunately, a few minutes later, Queen Ramonda sacrifices herself to save Riri Williams, and she
Yeah.
dies. I could see this one coming only because of the amount of focus Ramonda got in the film. Kinda.
Yeah, there was. I remember when I first watched the trailer and you see Shuri held back crying. I was like, she did. Uh, and I was thinking, but surely not, because people are just still grieving Chadwick. So yeah, it was a bold move, but emotionally, yeah, it, yeah. Obviously, she goes out saving Riri Williams. So she kind of dies at the actions of Namor, but not directly, because I think she says, I think he realizes she's not gonna like listen to him at all.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, gotta go.
I also like the fact as well they didn't go through the writing pitfall of Shuri blaming Riri. I think because that would have been an annoying subplot that we didn't need.
They
Which you
had
could
a yeah. They had a really good dynamic, I thought. I'm quite see if they when they reunite because it was like, both
which
very
is
similar.
cool because I think this film is quite dark for obvious reasons, and there are some positive
Mm.
moments. Obviously, in Baku gives you a few laughs. Okoye is really funny. Not wearing a wig anymore, she wears makeup, and it's like all that sort of stuff to cover up her
Yeah,
Wakandan
she's like,
tattoos. Yeah.
yeah.
Shuri's obviously funny in certain bits. Obviously she's quite upset throughout the whole film, but there are bits where she is funny. Um, as well, I have to give credit to set design in this film because Wakanda looks great. Talo Khan looks great.
Yeah.
It just overall it's a
Yeah, shout out
tremendous
to the costume and
looking film.
set design, yeah.
Also, Trevor Noah gets a cameo as Shuri's like intelligence thing, which is cool.
Ah,
We love a bit of Trevor Noah. And it's nice that
that's who it was.
I think potentially that character might be sticking around for Ironheart. Maybe Shuri's gifted him to her so that Ironheart has her own version of Jarvis.
Well, she said at the end, she was like, your suit can't leave this thing. So she'll
Yeah,
probably get
but
like that save
but
money for the Disney Plus show.
I'm sure though that there'll be at the start of the Disney Plus show there'll be like a secret thing where she opens a gift, it'll say from Shuri or whatever inside some kind of
Maybe at
thing to
the
get the
end.
suit
Maybe at the
going.
end.
Well, no, I don't, we'll find out. Who
Yeah.
knows? I mean, I don't know much about Ironheart apart from that, like apparently Mephisto might be in it, which is bonkers.
It's meant
Um,
to be like technology versus magic, which is quite a cool idea.
Sacha Baron Cohen is apparently,
Mephisto.
yeah,
Disguised as Borat.
yeah, apparently.
You're
My
Shamaz, I'm your
hell.
Morad. I'm Mephisto. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good old Borat. But yeah, and then I guess obviously it's kind of weird to review this film because it kind of, in a sense, it's difficult to critique certain things. But I will say as well, Lupita Nyong'o is great in this. Everyone's really good in it. Just accept the fact that for once on this show, I'm not critiquing anyone's performance in any way, shape, or form because I think everyone is fantastic. Lupita Nyong'o comes in midway way through the film, and it's revealed that she's not been in Wakanda since the battle in Infinity War. She left post that, so she's not been back since T'Challa
Mm,
was reborn and all this sort of stuff. And it seems like Ramonda is upset that she didn't come to the funeral, but she understands, and we don't really understand why that is until the end of the film. And yeah, Lupita Nyong'o is brilliant in it because we get that brilliant scene where she's with Okoye and she goes to Wakanda, he was king, but to me, he was everything. And it's like,
yeah.
obviously it's a shame we got to see a lot of their relationship off screen. But again, you can't, there's nothing you can do about that, given the circumstances. And I think Lupita Nyong'o has a mammoth job in this film to portray that relationship in her performance, which is a relationship we haven't seen. And yet you feel their
Yeah.
connection through her performance. There doesn't need to be an explanation of what happens because you just feel that how close they were because that's
Yeah.
how good Lupita Nyong'o is.
Yeah, obviously she's like I said, come away from that life. And she's working in a school. One of the kids may play an important part at the end of the film. Um, but then it's lovely that she obviously um Angela Bassett's character asks her for help, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever you need, I'm here." So that was, and obviously
Yeah.
she saves Shuri and Riri from Telecan. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
Right,
yeah,
let's get into possibly like the only really, really like Marvel moment of this film, which is Shuri essentially because Killmonger burnt all of the heart-shaped herb to become the Black Panther. Essentially, at the start of the film, we find out towards the end that she was working on a synthetic heart-shaped herb to try and save T'Challa at the very
yes,
beginning, and she couldn't do it, and eventually she does it. She figures it out essentially with a bit of Namor's. Namor gave her like a bracelet at the start of the
yeah,
film, and with that she can use it. And essentially she figures out how to create the synthetic heart-shaped herb. She takes the heart-shaped herb and she wakes up in the ancestral plane in the main room under the
Ancestral
wall.
plane.
I said ancestral.
Oh,
Did I
sorry.
say?
I
You
thought you
just
said
heard
ancestral.
incest. No, I said ancestral. You just thought I said
Okay,
ancestral.
we'll play
Um,
it back.
we'll play it back. If I didn't mean ancestral, if that's how it came out, but ancestral.
Ancestral plane, yeah. Yeah.
um, she waked up there in kind of exactly where Ramonda died. You can assume, like that the spot where the air left her lungs. And we think in the throne. Now there was two things going through my head. Number one, I think it's kind of going. Is it going to be Ramonda in the throne?
Mm.
I knew it was going to be Michael B. Jordan beforehand. I got it spoiled. But
Thanks, Twitter.
thanks Twitter. But yeah, it's Michael B.
Or like
Jordan.
or like a CGI black Chadwick
Oh,
Boseman,
that
which would have been
you
like
knew they weren't going to do that. Though. You just knew it. Like I thought that they were gonna the most they would have done. Not saying they would have done it. I didn't think they would have been. What sort of done is they would have gone back to the place from the first Black Panther. You know, like the tree of all the panthers, and you would have got a close up on one specifically that was meant to symbolize Chadwick.
mm,
I thought that was the most you would get. I don't think that. Don't think that would have been the right choice. But luckily they didn't, and it turns out it's Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger.
yeah.
Essentially, we're going, why is he here? Is this like a manipulation thing? No, he essentially challenges Shuri and goes, "You chose me. Don't try and pretend you didn't. You chose to speak to me because you're feeling like I am now."
Yeah.
And essentially, he does a really cool speech. He's like, "Don't take this thing away from your mother. She sacrificed herself. She was the honorable one. Your dad would have just killed the girl, and your brother was too stupid
Mm.
to do anything." And it was a really good speech. First of all, Michael Jordan, so sad he actually died in the first film because he was so good. Again, that's the issue with some Marvel villains. So they just end up dying like
That would have been cool to have
a
him, yeah,
bit
back.
more. He was my first pick to be the new Black Panther. But obviously we get Shuri in this, and I'm going to be honest, Shuri, this film won me over on her being Black Panther, so I'm not going to complain from here on out.
There's a really cool shot of her when she kind of came into the ancestral plane, where she comes out the water, but she's dry. So I don't know if it was like done in reverse, but it was very cleverly done. It was like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's really cool stuff. Essentially, she now has the power of the Black Panther, but she won't reveal who she's sure to everyone else in the ancestral plane. Obviously, Nakia taps onto who it is anyway. Obviously, Riri Williams is just there and is probably hella confused because she's like, "What is this weird?"
Well, it's a great reveal where because she's really angry, and she's like, she punches one of the
The
suits,
dummy,
boom,
yeah.
flies into the water. It's like, oh, you got the powers, yeah.
And then you got a really cool shot where you have Shuri's head mask next to Chadwick's mask, and she's looking at that, and she selects her gold version, and then you get this really cool like sub relationship between M'Baku and Shuri,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
after Ramonda dies, you get the scene where she's at the same place as to where they laid T'Challa to rest. And then M'Baku comes up to her and she's like, "Why are you here?" And he goes, "I made a promise to your brother to protect you." And then essentially you get this wonderful scene where he goes, "You're not a kid anymore. After what the world has done to you and what you've seen, you're no longer a child." Those sort of stuff. So he sees her as an equal, which is a really cool thing. And then you get this wonderful scene where essentially she's like, "No, I want to go to war with Neymar. He's a footballer. Neymar." And he essentially goes, "I'll back you, but I think this is the absolute wrong choice."
For how,
Essentially,
the kind of generations of what it will
yeah,
entail for like for years to come. Yeah,
yeah, he'll go, "I'll back you as our leader," but I don't think it's the right choice. And although it's not a state relationship, I think it's a really important relationship because it shows not only the evolution of Shuri, but also the evolution of M'Baku and T'Challa's relationship. Because obviously, it's in the first film they don't hate each other, but they certainly aren't mates. And then through Infinity War, they fight together, and then over time as well, there must have been something that's happened between the two of them, which again doesn't need to be spoken. It can be this unspoken thing, and that's how we kind of get into our final battle. And yeah, we get this lovely. I think I'm ready to go to the end on this one now because I think there's not much else to really say. It's hard to be critical. Let's say that.
we loved it all. Pretty, yeah. Apart from like,
Yeah.
there's obviously what I said. It's hard to, like I said, it's hard to like you can treat the plot, but I think walking away from the film, you basically go through the grieving process. Really,
Yeah.
it's everything's there really. So yeah,
And I'm going to say this now. This film has potentially my favorite ending to any Marvel film ever. So essentially,
I knew this. You didn't, did you?
no, I didn't know this. But essentially, in the first act of the film, before we see Namor for the first time, Ramonda and Shuri are going to burn their robes or something. It's going to signify the end of the grieving process. And Shuri can't do it. She's not ready to give up yet. And at the end of the film,
She does.
she's with Nakia, and she says, "No, I need to do it by myself." And she burns the robes, and we go to the credits with Rihanna. Before that, though, we do see a little bit where she's crying, and we get all these shots of Chadwick
That
and
was nice.
her,
Yeah,
and it was a really cool moment. And we get the Rihanna song. Wait, is it Rihanna?
yeah. Lift me up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Rihanna. It's just again a beautiful tune. And then we get to the post-credit scene where Nakia comes down with a kid who we saw early on in the film. We didn't really focus on. The shot focused on this kid, but we didn't know why. Just like, yeah, it's a kid. And then it turns out that his name is T'Challa, and it turns out that it's really heartwarming that it's T'Challa's son.
T'Challa, the
And,
son of T'Challa. Yeah.
and we get this wonderful bit where essentially Shuri meets him for the first time, and they have a little bit of a back and forth. And we find out why Nakia wasn't there is because T'Challa didn't want him growing up in the political landscape of Wakanda. And it's difficult to talk without, not, I won't say getting emotional, but that is the most beautiful thing they could have done. I don't know if that was always the plan or whatever to bring a son in, but either way, the way they had either changed it for the writing, it's the most beautiful way of sending. I think obviously these characters are going to come back. Literally at the end of the credits says Black Panther will return, which is awesome. But yeah, just a really cool. One of my favorite post credit scenes ever. And that's it's just. I think you can now see why the original second one was cut. I think if you did another one after that, it wouldn't have made sense. Now I ain't gonna spoil what the original second post credit scene should have been, because
yeah, there was rumors of it, and then I think they said they didn't even do anything for it, but I think there was
no,
something.
they know there was they probably
Yeah.
But let's say that I think if they were to promote another film after that, it would have felt hollow. So I think it's perfect. But yeah, in terms of rating out of 10, it's difficult for me. I'll go. I don't, I'll go with a 9. I'm like, and that's not me that's not me overhyping it. I just genuinely don't have much to critique with this film. It's not it's not one of the most fun films to watch, but in terms of execution, I can't hate it.
No, amazing executing the song. I'd probably give it an 8. I'd say. I think
Yeah.
8 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, lovely, amazing, beautiful film. But yeah, nothing's perfect.
Not
Nothing is, but yeah.
no Marvel
But
film is no Marvel film is
but they got
perfect.
the stuff they needed to get right. They hit
We
out
got
the
right.
park. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it moves the character of Black Panther along and these characters along, and now we can move forward with knowing that they've serviced Chadwick Boseman well.
Yeah, it serves
And
memory lovely. Yeah.
you can tell that was the main goal of this film, that they wanted to do him proud, and I think they've done that. Honestly, I think I think they can say that they've done him proud, and they're moving it forward, hopefully in a way that he would have loved. And I think that overall they should be very happy and proud of themselves, everyone involved, because we could also say that Disney's a massive corporation, but you can tell this film was made with love. I just can't see how anyone could be cynical about this film.
No, no,
Yeah.
not at all, man. No.
Like even the death of T'Challa was barely in the marketing. Obviously, it was in the marketing. You could tell there was a funeral going on, but it wasn't like, oh, come watch this film, which is all about him. They were very true to the actual point of the film.
Yeah.
In the marketing, and yeah, I think overall it's one of those films we'll look back on and go, for the first time in the Disney era of Marvel, and go, do you know what? That didn't look like a cash grab to me. That felt like a love letter to what who seemed to be a brilliant man. I didn't know the man, but we rarely use the term, but real life superhero is the thing that I'm willing to say about that man, because nobody knew he was going through what he was going through. and he put so many smiles on kids' faces and our faces, even in the films that we saw him in. And
Yeah.
it's such a shame that he couldn't continue that character, but it's certainly going on in a way that he can be proud of.
Lovely summed up, Alex. Well done.
There you go. There we go. So that's going to be it. Now get ready for when Wakanda Forever's on the bottom of my list. No, it's not. Now we're going to go on to our rankings of Phase 4. But quickly, we sort of get a summary, right? Because there's been a lot of controversy with Phase 4 in terms of, is it the worst phase? Is it whatever this is? Has Marvel lost its spark a little bit?
It's at the end of days, yeah.
First of all, I'm going to go with no, it's not the worst phase. For me, Phase 1 is the worst phase. But hey, that's it's up for personal debate. All I will say is Phase 1 has the Incredible Hulk, Thor, and Iron Man 2, which all three of those films are, they're better than one of the films in Phase 4, but none of them are triumphs. And
yeah,
I would say that's half and half. Whereas this phase is more good than bad.
Well, it's probably like double or triple the amount of films
I think Phase 3 spoiled us. I think that's what it is. You look back at Phase 2 and 1, it's all a mixed bag, and the Phase 3 was just consistently pretty good. And then
I think we've had for the first phase 3, we had an end game, pardon the pun, and this purposely was to kind of palette cleanse, give us some sequels, but mainly new kind of characters. So I'm very excited for Phase 5, kicking off with Ant-Man, the Wasp, Quantumania, because we've got Kang in there, so it's going to be like, I feel from now on it's going to be, but it obviously
they've kind of reset the roster a little bit, which we had to do.
Yeah, so we kind of
we brought in Yelena and Red Guardian to kind of fill a bit of a void. We brought in Shang-Chi.
And obviously the first time we've had all the shows and that, I do think the quality has dropped a tad. I possibly think Kevin Feige won't be spreading himself a bad tad too thin to all the, but still, no,
it's a learning. It's a learning process, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think even the worst Marvel things, like whatever people may think, like whether their least favorite is Thor: The Dark World, which that's totally my least favorite, I can still get enjoyment out of Thor: The Dark World. There's still things I like about it. I've never seen a Marvel property where I've gone, that is complete shit. I've never had that with any of them. I've even seen Doctor Who episodes and gone, that is nothing I like about that. And Doctor Who's my favorite thing ever. Yeah. Whereas with a Marvel property, I've never gone, that is horrendously awful. Never want to watch that again at all. I don't know about you, but there's always something to enjoy about Marvel. Anything.
Yeah, there's always stuff to take from them. Like so, Doctor 2, it's like you have like your lesser episodes. I think we said before, like the Sarah Jane Adventures. I don't think there's even a bad episode in that.
Yeah, that would be fair. That would be fair. I think Sarah Jane Adventures is actually more consistent than Doctor Who, but again, there is less of it, so it's easy to be more consistent, I suppose. You can see it right there. But yeah, right, let's get into the ranking, shall we?
Should we shout? Yes. So what's the plan, Az? How are you going to do this?
Well, so you've got one more than me. So I think if you start with yours.
Okay.
We've not discussed this at all. I do not know what reasons. I have an idea because we've spoken about it in the past, but I don't know. With the Disney Plus shows, especially, this order could be all over the gaff. Because I know with Disney Plus shows we actually disagree quite a bit, so this could be interesting.
So I got one more than you, and I best.
Yeah. I've got 15. You've got 16. I think that's correct.
Yes.
So, what have you got at number 16?
The Eternals.
I also have that at my bottom, so that makes sense.
We'll agree then.
The Eternals. We went to too much because it was literally 2 podcasts ago, but we've not had your thoughts, Reece. So I'll let you speak more than me. I just think it was boring, which I think is the kind of harsh criticism I can give it. I don't think it's horribly made. I think it looks great. Chloe Zhao's a great director. I just think it's dull, and I think
nothing. Nothing as a cast or the director at all. I may have tried to rewatch it and fell asleep or not watched it again. So, it's it's odd, and as well, trying to introduce 10 characters, quite an
Yeah,
impossible thing, really. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, and also the fact you can tell that there was an issue there because she has to get rid of Kingo at the beginning of the third act, and you think it's going to be like this thing where he comes back in and saves the day,
yeah.
and she
What was
goes,
that about?
and then he
Yeah,
just leaves, and then at the end goes, "Well done, guys, you made the right choice." And it's like, no, you pissed off. You don't get to
yeah,
say that you made the right choice. And also that the sprite gets rewarded for trying to kill her friends, and it's
yeah.
like that feels kind of odd to me. So it just didn't hit. I also thought like the main deviant is just forgotten about, and he randomly just pops up in
Right.
third act again. And just it didn't really come together for me. I thought the cast were fine, like they're all trying their best. And I love Kamal Nanjiani in anything he does. But yeah, it just didn't work for me.
Hmm.
What is your number 15 for you?
Hawkeye.
Okay, yeah, then we're definitely going to have a massive disagreement
I
here.
know, I know. I was thinking
Um,
that, so there's your.
I'm going to tell you that is much higher on mine.
I'd
Um,
guess that. I'd guess that.
I'll go. So I say my number 14 because mine's a
Yeah.
Disney Plus show. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Is it my 14? Uh, yeah.
Again, that's much higher. That's much higher for me.
Okay. Essentially, my interest in Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes down to the two people in the title. I don't like Falcon. I don't like the Winter Soldier. So to put those two in a television show together doesn't really appeal to me. Um,
But
I
did you
think
not
that
like his journey to Captain America?
no.
Wow. That's what
Um,
Hawkeye found boring. I found it so boring. It was like,
yeah,
do
I
we
won't
need a?
discuss Hawkeye just yet because mine's going to be a lot higher, and
Okay,
obviously we get
you
tangled.
can try and prove me wrong. Okay.
No, but what we'll do is if we talk about what our positions are, where they are, so then
Yeah, and then
I'll let you talk about Hawkeye in a minute, and then I won't say anything
okay.
until I get to where it is. But for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Falcon already got the shield in Endgame, and
Yeah,
then I felt like what happened is they had written Falcon and the Winter Soldier before Endgame had came out. That they did the scene in Endgame without consulting the Falcon and the Winter Soldier writing staff, because it feels like to me Sam
I
goes through the
don't think they
arc of
did.
getting the shield because he goes, it doesn't feel right. And then Captain America goes, it's yours. And that is like a brilliant scene where he has the type moment he looks up with the shield. And then
Yeah.
we have a 6-part story where he's trying to get the shield again.
No, but he says
But go on. I'll let you
no. I was gonna
defend it
say because
slightly.
he. Well, no, because he says like, "Oh, it's for somebody else's." So he kind of, I think, yeah, it needs that emotional journey to get
Okay,
to that
okay.
point.
I didn't feel
After
like
all
it
that.
did. I didn't feel like it did.
Okay.
I also thought Sharon Carter as the power broker was the most obvious thing in the history of
Yeah.
television. Zemo's dance moves are really cool in it. The Flag Smashers, it's unfortunate their story got curtailed by COVID because if you don't know, their original plan was going to be for a virus that was spreading around, which was a chemical virus, which obviously was a bit too topical at the time. So they had to get rid of that subplot. It just kind of makes them a bit confusing. I think
Mm.
Erin Kellerman, I think that's her name, as the lead Flag Smasher was fantastic. Yeah, there's still a lot to enjoy here. I think visually it's cool. I think John Walker's an interesting villain. I love the iconography of when he kills someone with the shield in
Mm.
that square. Really cool stuff. Obviously, we get Val in this one as well. So yeah, it's okay. Like this
What's
thing with
not to
Phase,
like, Alex?
thing with Phase Four. I don't like I don't like Falcon at all. I don't like him. This is a series about Falcon. Um, well, you and Hawkeye. Let's go because you're an Arrow fan, right? You can say that. Well, part of Arrow because
I love Arrow. I love Arrow.
Rocky roads with Arrow. Let's say that.
I I just found it pointless, boring. It was cool. We got introduced to what's her name? What's her name,
Kate
Alex?
Bishop. Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop. She was the saving grace for that. But apart from that, I found it very dull, pointless. It was nice the Christmas stuff again. Very Christmassy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it was just like it was like why do you need this show? And then it came out and it was like, well, okay,
Okay.
didn't really.
Okay.
I just didn't dig it. I didn't dig it.
Okay. All right. So your number 14, please.
Ah, She Hulk.
Black Widow is my 13.
Black Widow's very
Okay.
close.
Okay. And you're gonna this is gonna be weird, right? Because this is where probably my unpopular opinion is. From now on, I don't really have many massive criticisms of much things going forward.
No,
I have small nitpicks, but Black Widow I enjoyed quite a bit more than the average person, I'd say. Me and John did a podcast when it first came out.
yeah,
And I watched it again. I don't think it's one of the best MCU films, but I think it's watchable. I think the issue is it just came out too late. It's my
it
biggest
should have
issue.
been. It should have
If
been Phase 3. Yeah,
if this was after Civil War, like when it's set, it would have been a more than serviceable. It would have been a good film. I think the end. I think Dreykov's a really funny villain because I love Ray Winstone, but to get him to play like a Russian, no.
that was funny.
I think the Taskmaster thing is stupid, but they have time to redeem that. But we do get Yelena, we get Red Guardian. We have what's her name, Rachel Weisz in this. Like the cast is brilliant. I like the widow story. I like Natasha going off and fighting her demons from back in the day. I also think I think it wastes the Budapest storyline, but they built it up so much, similar to the Nick Fury eye thing. It's on the level of the Nick Fury eye thing where they built that up. Like last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. It turned to be a fucking cat.
Oh god!
Like Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just think if it was earlier on, cool. I just think it felt too late. And I again, nothing against anyone in the film except Ray Winstone. I love you, Ray. Don't hate me. What about yourself? What was yours again? Sorry, She-Hulk.
Mine was She-Hulk. Yeah.
Okay.
I I just didn't find it very funny. It
Okay.
was meant to be a comedy. I didn't find it very funny. But apart from that, yeah, some of the episodes as well was a bit like wasn't really worthy of an episode. It was like okay, but I loved her. I think she was hilarious. So I'm excited to see her in like other projects. And my boy Daredevil, my god, I'm effing pumped. So
You
yeah,
can swear on this show, you know. I know you're
I am
Gallifrey fan, like you
fucking
said.
pumped.
There you go. You've said much worse,
Yeah.
like drunk watch-alongs,
Probably,
which will
yeah.
be coming out very soon. But yeah, no,
Yes.
I'll tell you now, She-Hulk is like similar to Black Widow. It's not much further up, shall we say?
Okay.
But yeah, all right. This is the one I'm scared about. My next one. I'm scared about this one. What is your number 13?
Black Widow.
My number 12 is Loki.
Ooh.
You know my main gripe with this. I love Loki, but I felt like his
but you
death.
think you should have?
I think his death is underwritten by the existence of this show. And I also felt like we were lied to a little bit because we were promised a different Loki with a different personality. And for the first episode, that was accurate. For the rest of the show, he snaps back into being a good guy again. And it's like, well, then why did you kill him off? Obviously I know from a branding standpoint and the fact that Tom Hiddleston as Loki is a bank to print money, and I don't like. Look, if I was the head of Marvel, if I was Kevin Feige, of course I want to get Tom Hiddleston back. But from a storyline perspective, something about it just irks me. I don't know as well. I don't like the fact that he's attracted to himself. I get people saying that's a Loki thing. I just find it really weird. I also think the last episode is just such exposition bullshit about the timelines. Essentially, we get introduced to Jonathan Majors as He Who Remains. Really cool. But he's sitting there and talking for 25 minutes just so we understand how the multiverse works. And it's really confusing. I don't think it lands. I loved episode 5, was it? Is it 6 parts? Yeah. So the one where they're where there's multiple Lokis, and we get Richard E. Grant there, and we get the
Glorious Purpose.
Yeah, the Glorious Purpose. We get the Yellow Jacket thingy. We get the Thanos copter, all the Easter eggs there. That was a great episode. But I just think it falls flat. Owen Wilson's brilliant in it as well. Again, a great cast. Gugu Mbatha-Raw is brilliant in it as well. It feels bizarre. I also still don't really understand why Sylvie was pruned. They kind of give a flashback, but it still doesn't make any fucking sense. Just no. And I thought the finale is the classic, so the whole first series didn't happen, which I hate. they just undid the first series. I decided it's all about building. I think the Kang stuff's cool. I think Manson does a really good job in it, but I just think it just doesn't. No, it's not for me. Not for me. Not what I like.
Interesting. Again, probably very different opinions there. Yeah, so my choice was Black Widow. Um, uh, yeah, yeah, a little too late, unfortunately. Um, pretty good film. I thought the third act was a bit messy, a bit too CGI. Like there's quite funny CGI shots. Um, but we get some great characters out of it. You know, Yelena, a Guardian, um, and yeah, but just didn't. You know, there's others that I kind of prefer. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to say on that, or do you want to?
No, there's not really else to say. Yeah, I can't remember much about it. So
That's all right.
I'm like,
Right, give us your number 12.
number 12 is bam. Miss Marvel.
Mine, okay, my number 11 is She-Hulk. So this is why I put She-Hulk. Again, some reasons for you actually. I thought that this is actually different to most of the Disney Plus shows. I thought the finale for this was actually really good, but like you said,
Yeah.
there were so many episodes where nothing happens. Um,
Mm.
Obviously you get some really good moments, like the Megan the Stallion things were really funny. Um, I think Todd is one of the actually most detestable villains I've faced for. Just a really creepy dude. Don't like him. No, thank you. Love seeing Abomination back. Like seeing Hulk in it. I thought the first episode. The issue is this actually. The first episode is really weird because it makes her very unlikable. She becomes likable over the show, but in the first episode, she's just like dissing Hulk for the whole. She's like, "Oh, you know, I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. I don't need a superhero." And it's like she seems like a bit of a dick. They write her better in the subsequent episodes, and I think Tatiana Maslany is very good in it, as well as her cast. Obviously, you've got her mates. You know, obviously, it's really weird to see. I think it's Josh Segarra who played the villain in Arrow season 5 as like a really good dude in
Yeah, that
this, and
was
like a really
weird. Yeah.
but you obviously
Yeah.
you get the guy that makes the suits who's really cool. You get the leapfrog guy trying to rivet and rivet.
Mm.
It's just really like really dumb stuff. Really, I love the wedding episode for some reason. That was one that I thought actually nailed the comedy aspect of the show, unlike a lot of the other ones. I thought that wedding episode
Mm.
where like you're going over and seeing that friend from school who you never actually really liked, and you've been invited out of
Mm.
necessity and all that, and but there are some weird dark moments in this. Like a guy sleeps there to get her blood, and I'm thinking this contradicts the kind of fun side of it, and like it's some weird tonal shifts that feel a bit imbalanced. But Daredevil's in it, and he's really good in it. And as someone that's not seen the Daredevil show, was a fan.
Boy, yeah, you're missing out.
Um,
I think that's definitely need to be in there. I think there's quite a good, it's a really good job about representing
yeah,
women and like social media trolls and yeah.
yeah, really like
But
there are a lot of good elements to it. I also think of all the series to get 9 episodes, this wasn't the one that needed more episodes. Um, but yeah, overall, like you said, I agree with you on the fact that it won me over on her, and I can't wait to see She-Hulk in more stuff. Also, Hulk's got a son now. Don't know when we're going to see that picked up again, but again, I'm excited to
World
do it.
War Hulk. Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, She-Hulk. It's very solid, very like more than enjoyable. I don't dislike. I liked it more. Let's say, well, now at this part of the list, I liked things more than I disliked them. Let's say that. Like I found more good things in this than I did bad.
Mm.
Right, what is your number 11?
My number 11 is. Oh no, I had to about Miss Marvel.
Oh, you haven't done shit, you haven't, yeah.
All
Sorry.
right. I'm a bit like because I love the character, I love the family. Um, the show's pretty good. Um, the villains were awful. The villain plot with them, yeah. I was lost. I didn't know what was going on. Didn't make any sense. I don't know if that was an editing thing or reshot, but apart from that, I really, 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 really loved her character, her family. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Cool.
Maybe people say I was quite a down, but yeah.
No, I don't think I think that's a fair criticism. We've spoken about this actually because when I think it was London Film and Comic Con, I think the week before that was when the finale came out. I think could be
Mm,
wrong, but I remember us go
fun time.
maybe a long time ago, but we were having a chat about it. I think your criticisms are fair. Miss Marvel's a bit higher up on mine, but
Mm.
we're in similar positions, right? What is your number 11, please, man?
Doctor Strange in the
Oh,
multiverse.
my number 10 is Doctor Strange in the
What
Multiverse
the
of Madness.
fuck?
So we get to talk us together. My criticism of this might not be everyone else's criticism of this. Um, First of all, I want to say it's a lot better film than most people are saying it is, in my humble opinion. Some people are acting as if this one was a massive letdown. Um, I didn't want a cameo fest, so I'm happy I didn't get a cameo fest. Um, I think Sam Raimi directs this brilliantly. I
Mm,
think every cast member's brilliant in it. Where it falls down for me is the fact in a story that's called The Multiverse of Madness, we don't really visit the multiverse that much. I don't mean that in terms of, oh, we didn't see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and we didn't see Deadpool. We just don't go to that many universes. We do for about 2 seconds at a time. But I was more hoping that maybe it would be Doctor Strange and America Chavez kind of trying to run away in the multiverse to get away from Wanda, and they use different
mm,
tactics and different. But no, we just go to one universe and meet the Illuminati, which is admittedly pretty fucking cool. They cop it in one of the best scenes of this phase, and then we continue on with the film. I just think that it's the title fucked this over. That it fucked the film up, and I mean that honestly. I think if it had a different title, could be 3 spots higher. But calling it in the Multiverse of Madness when we weren't in the Multiverse of Madness that much, it just to be honest, in my head I was going, oh, so we're going to see different universes, maybe different versions of Strange or whatever. Like, I wasn't thinking like Tobey Maguire's going to show up again because I remember telling you about we talked this at the time in the review.
yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It just felt like something was missing from this Multiverse of Madness film. If that makes
Right.
sense.
It was like Doctor Strange in the multiverse of
Yeah, wasn't that mad?
Yeah. Um yeah, I fairly my more kind of issue of it is the kind of I didn't really love it as a film, I'll be honest.
Oh, okay.
Like
I think I think I'm much more positive about this face than you. But like,
yeah. Um I think yeah, of course in the cameos, Wanda's thing, they'd I don't think they translated well between like WandaVision.
whoa, whoa, no, I disagree heavily there. It's
Nah.
very clear that the Darkhold corrupts people, and she's
I
been corrupted by the Darkhold.
They didn't even watch it. They said they didn't even watch it.
They didn't need to. They didn't like. I don't.
Well,
I know. I'm sorry. I think Elizabeth Olsen is the best part of this film, bar
oh
none.
no, I
I
no, she gives good pause. I just don't think what you
and I
see.
think. No, I think she's like the best thing about it, like entirely. I think she's the best villain of this phase. I've honestly, like, I'm not taking the piss. I'm
Oh,
serious. Like,
I
I
disagree.
I think Elizabeth Olsen's performance is brilliant.
Yeah,
I think the plot of just a mother looking for her kids is the best. Like, that is the most personal you can get. Obviously, there's a sci-fi magic element to it where she's like, "I'm going to travel the multiverse," but I think we can all kind of relate to that plot, not in the way that she does things. And yes, she kind of goes from hero to villain very quickly, but I don't think you need a description of what's happened to her because we get told in one division that the Darkhold corrupts people. We see it with Agatha Harkness. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is really good at it. We get more Wong in this. Everyone loves Wong, even though they say it in She-Hulk. We all love Wong. He's good in it. I think the Illuminati scene is tremendous. Um, yeah,
everybody dies.
and I think this is actually a very good MCU horror film. I don't think it's like it's not like super scary, but I think it's as scary as you can get for um, I think there is a lot of heart to it with America Chavez. Like, she's a great character, and her story's very sad. Um, yeah, no, I do genuinely get a lot out of this film. For me, I'm
I
surprised you
can
didn't rank
tell.
it lower. I'm surprised you didn't rank it lower. You've been more positive about other things than you have this.
Uh, I I will change this. No, no, I think the whole element's cool. I just no. All I thought was just I don't think it is. I think Elizabeth Olsen did an amazing job acting. I think, like I said, yeah, I get that kind of thing. I just think there's no point, no return now for her. But
You think
as well,
you think there's no point of you don't think there's a point of return for her? You don't
I
think
don't
there's
see
a
how she can come back from like killing everybody. Also,
Oh
I'll
no,
drop.
I do. I like There's the issue, right? Is that it's Marvel. She was corrupted by a dark magic source. Um, yeah, I could see it.
Also, I hope John Krasinski is not Mr. Fantastic because I did not see
You're,
him as Mr. Fantastic. I
well,
get the fan thing,
we're gonna
but I
disagree
was
on
like,
this,
yeah,
but yeah, obviously it's weird because all of the films from this year, Marvel wise, we did on this podcast. So we did Doctor
this
Strange,
is
we did
true.
Thor,
Yeah,
and we did Black
yeah.
Panther. But yeah, no, what is your number 10, sir?
WandaVision.
Miss Marvel is my number 9.
Oh, okay.
Um, I'll talk about Miss Marvel since you've done it, and then you can discuss WandaVision. Miss Marvel for me, same things as you, really. I thought all the characters were great, except the villains. I think as well they tried to shove 2 series in one here. I think this is the series that needed 9 episodes and not 6 because we get
Mm,
2 episodes in Pakistan, which is a great subplot, but it's a subplot that takes away from the main plot of the DODC. And then after those 2 episodes in Pakistan, we just go back for the finale in New Jersey and we're back to the original plot again. And it kind of
mm,
feels like you're shoving 2 different series in one here. And I'm not saying that either of them aren't great. Like I love the finale. I think it's one of the finales that does stick the landing. I think it's really fun. I think the high school environment of it is really fun. I think the way they shoot the Pakistan stuff's really great. I think it's a really interesting story about the partition and all that kind of stuff.
mm.
I think it's really well sourced. I just think they mesh well together. I think you have 4 episodes of one season and 2 episodes of another season,
Yeah,
and they kind of you just forget like Bruno. Where's he for 2 episodes? Not in it. Where
yeah.
where's the whatever his name? I forget his name. What's the band that she likes that they actually like? He's secretly
I
villainous or
can't
whatever.
remember.
Cameron. I think Cameron. I think is his
Yeah,
name. He disappeared.
that's why I was like, kind of enjoy minds back because I loved all that stuff. But then the plot and
Yeah,
the villains was like, oh,
yeah. It just felt weird. But no, Iman Vellani, take a bow because considering that's our first ever acting gig.
mm,
And yeah, and you can just tell she's having a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That's what I say. The series is a lot of fun. When it's hitting, it hits very well. I don't think any of it's really that bad. I think the villains are a bit meh, but we've had a lot of meh villains in the past. Like,
mm.
I just think it's middle of the road. It's middle of the road. That's what I can say. But you, WandaVision, what we said.
Yeah. Again, I'll probably get a lot of stick for that.
It's not
I
much higher on my list. Don't worry.
I just think it was a lot of build up, and then it kind of just turns into like I felt very predictable, and I felt like it was quite. I said I think it did great stuff. Like Wanda's characters, it was amazing. Like the flashback episode was great. Uh, Agatha loved and stuff like that. So I enjoyed it. I didn't like it as much as everybody else. I guess I was just like, it's good, but not like
Yeah, fair
wow.
dues. Yeah, I guess we can. Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's fair assessment. What is your number 9? You're one ahead of me, sir.
My number 9 is Moon Knight.
My number 8 is the Guardians of the Galaxy Festive Special.
Oh,
I think, look, as we spoke about it earlier, so I won't say anything again, but I say, look, it did everything
yeah,
it was trying to do. It's not trying to be the best thing ever. It's not, it's really a nice little festive special, and it was that. That's all I'd say on that because we literally spoke about it
yeah. We just get
40
if
minutes
you want to
ago.
hear our thoughts, yeah, I'll do the same when we come around to it. Um,
But it's Moon Knight, okay?
yeah, no, Moon Knight. Love the kind of mind bend and stuff. I think maybe we could have done a bit more of that. But no, I enjoyed the I think Oscar Isaac uh
Yep.
could go between the two like effortlessly. I think his acting was sublime. Even Hawk was good and supporting cast, and Moon Knight was very badass. So um, yeah, so it was very good. Um, if they do season two, I'm interested to see what they do with it. Um, so it was very good, but it's not like top tier for me. But yeah, it's good,
Fair
decent.
dues. Um, yeah. Yeah. No. Fair enough. Mine's a bit higher. Obviously, we're getting to the point now where nothing can be much higher or lower
No,
than everything else. I think the only thing is that you've got Loki higher and I've got Hawkeye higher. I think that's probably our biggest. And we haven't Falcon and Winter Soldier yet either. So interesting.
mm.
Um, right. So mine number 7. What's your number 8, mate?
Thor: Love and Thunder.
My number 7 is WandaVision. Um,
Okay.
I loved this until the ending. That's my that's my biggest thing. I loved it. I loved the homage episodes, the first three. Then we got drip fed in some more story in the fourth episode. I loved all the new characters like Monica Rambeau. I
Mm.
loved the confusion of we didn't really know what was going on, and then we built up for this wonderful finale, where it turns out that Quicksilver was called Ralph Boner, and then it turned into a massive shooty fight, which the show wasn't
Mm.
before that. It felt like they were
No.
too scared just to keep it as what it was, and they were, oh, no, we have to marvel this up. It's a shame they did because the finale sucks, but the rest of the show is pretty good, like quite actually really good. But the finale, and I remember watching this because I remember the day before it or the day of, I had my COVID jab, the second one. Weird story, but yes, that's when this show came out. And my second COVID jab. I remember feeling really ill. I was like, well, at least I got WandaVision to watch. I watched it. I went, either I'm in a really bad mood, or that just was a massive letdown. And I watched it again a couple of days later. Um, and yeah, no, it just let me down because I was loving
Mm.
WandaVision. I was like, oh, I love Disney Plus shows. They're great. Then I watched the ending, and I was like, oh.
Mm.
Mm.
Um,
Thor: Love and Thunder.
yeah,
Go.
as a Thor: Love and Thunder,
Would it help if I
I,
said that Thor: Love and Thunder is at my 6, so we could just talk about it together?
oh yeah, quick up a bit.
Um,
Yeah, I love this film more than probably a lot of people do. I know this one's got a lot of backlash. It probably does go a bit more on the seaside than it should do, but I prefer this to Ragnarok, and I didn't really get the hype around Ragnarok. I'm gonna quite get like shot card for that. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I had a really great time. Very emotional as well. I enjoyed it. But again,
yeah,
like we said earlier, could have done more, bit
me
more
too.
time.
I think literally the thing is it needs more time, and Gore the God Butcher. Although Christian Bale's brilliant when he's in it, he's not in it enough. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I prefer it to Ragnarok like you. I think it's probably is the best Thor film. And I think overall it's just one of those things where I go, it's a film that did its
That
thing.
happened.
It was
It was a
enjoyable.
film.
It was enjoyable, and I had a good time rewatching it on Disney Plus. And I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing it does is that it saves Jane Foster as a character for me, because Jane Foster was one of my least favorite
Mm.
characters, and I ended up crying when she died. So well done, Taika Waititi.
Turned it around.
He did a tremendous job, and so well done to Natalie Portman as well, because she's brilliant in it, and Chris Hemsworth's brilliant in everything. One thing that needs to happen though is that Korg, there's not enough stakes. Like Korg almost dies, Valkyrie almost dies, but they don't because yeah, it just felt like everyone was invincible in this film, which is a bit of an issue as well. But apart from that, no, I thought it was
Mm.
solid. Right, what is your number 7? I think 7.
Loki. Loki.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where is
I
Falcon and the Winter Soldier on this list? Damn. Um,
you'll find out. So yeah, Loki. I understand like the criticism like you said of it being like a kind of under my stuff, but I loved the music. The visuals were stunning. Um, and I loved all the characters as well. And I thought it set up Kang greatly. Bit weird, the love thing being like themselves, but um, I'm pumped for season two. Yeah,
yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So have you said everything you want to say about Loki, mate, or is there anything else you wanted to
Yeah,
add?
no, I can't again, not really as many criticisms as you, but no, I very enjoyed it. Yeah, so
Okay.
pretty good.
So you've still got the Guardians Christmas special on there, which you've really enjoyed that. You've still got Falcon and Winter Soldier on there as well. In your top seven. And you've still got Werewolf by Night in there as well, which means I probably really, really should watch it. Because
Maybe you should do this after this podcast.
right. So now I'm in number five and you're at number six. We do have though three of the same in the top 5/6, which is interesting.
Mm,
And they're all films, which is also interesting.
yeah,
So what is it? Your number six, mate?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, my number five is Moon Knight.
Oh, okay.
I'll go
I
about. Do you want to go
go on.
Falcon and Soldier first? No, you go on.
Uh, I'm the complete opposite of you. I love the duo, and I think the series was really, really good. Dealt with some like really good political issues, and it felt believable that he would become Captain America, not as like, here's a shield, thank you, ta-da. He's like, nah, this is like a white man's role. Do you mean? And I think like
Yeah,
the villains weren't the best. I think that was probably the weakest thing about it. That tends to be the most thing with Marvel films,
but
doesn't it? And
but
TV shows.
again, I feel like that wasn't their fault. I will add that. I feel like obviously it was due to world events that half of their
Mm.
story got slashed. So
Um,
yeah, I do see what you mean though. I understand obviously the cultural side of it, which I can't really comment on
no, none of
as a
us can. No,
as a white man. And I
yeah,
understand I know people who did love that and love the show. But yeah, I think it comes down to if you like the duo or not, really. And I don't like either of them,
fair enough.
unfortunately. Moon Knight for me though, I loved it. I don't like. I think this one for me, people go the finale drops the ball. It could have been an extra episode because we don't really know what's going on. But I will say this: I think Ethan Hawke's a decent villain. I think Oscar Isaac's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Wow.
and that episode five, where they're in sort of the purgatory thing, and you see his backstory, is the best episode of Disney Plus there's ever been in
Mm,
Marvel so far. I don't think anything's topped that particular episode. I loved the representation of all the like deities and stuff. It didn't feel laughable, which is weird because you have a massive hippopotamus woman, and it felt like it fit within the story. I
yeah.
thought the moon god, I forget his name, Khonshu, was really threatening and cool. Yeah, I somehow I love both Stephen and what's the main guy's name? What's his actual name? Because Stevens is
Oh God, I don't know. Stephen and
shit. Stephen, no.
oh no.
I'm gonna Google this. Gonna Google this. Google.
Okay.
Google.
Help me, Google. Help me. I'm so bad. I can't remember.
He just says he plays Moon Knight. That does not help me. Um,
Yeah.
um,
Oh no.
Tell me the character's
Oh,
name. Mark Spector.
that's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Yeah, no, I thought he was tremendous
Mark.
in both
Mark.
roles. Um, yeah, overall, I just thought it was really good. I didn't feel like he dropped the ball. I thought it worked really well, and it made me care for two characters played by the same dude.
Mm,
And I thought the end was really cool with it being Jake Lockley being revealed. That Conchu, although he's let Stephen and Mark go, he's still got hold of Jake, which is interesting.
mm.
And hopefully it gets season two because if it doesn't, I'll be really sad.
Yeah.
Um,
I
you can
really
never
want to see.
trust you can never trust Marvel actors. So even if they say, "Oh, look, nothing's confirmed yet," we all know Tom Holland's coming back. So don't stress. Don't stress. We all know he's coming back. We all know the money involved is too much, and also I guarantee Marvel and Sony would give him as much money as possible because they kind of need it. They need him back.
Yeah.
So we
One
do
of,
it.
one of the highest grossing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
My
So
number
you're
five
yeah.
is Werewolf by Night.
Right, I'll just listen to this one and so I'll talk for about. So right, explain. Don't spoil it, but explain what's so good about it if you can without spoiling.
This is what Doctor Strange should have been. This is like
Okay.
proper horror. It's
Okay.
it's really intense. Goes back to like it's a very big homage to black and white films, like Hammer horror films. I just loved it.
Okay.
I think it was really, really good. You got
Is there much MCU connection to it, or is it sort of aside? Or
partially, yeah. It's I think when they
so
do stuff like Blade,
it does take place in the MCU. Though. It's not like a
yeah, of
offshoot.
course it does, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But
I
it's
was
like
just
they got yeah,
okay.
yeah. I don't want to spoil the story, but it is. I had a great time. Like
Okay.
Guardians, it was like perfect for Halloween. Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I'm gonna assume is this is what's left on the table. So we both got I'll do it in order so I don't in like
Okay.
timeline order so I don't spoil it. So we both got Shang-Chi, we both got Spider-Man, we both got Wakanda Forever, but you've got the Guardians festive special in the top four, whereas I've got Hawkeye in the top four. Interesting. But what is your number four?
Wakanda Forever.
That is also my number four.
Hey, okay.
Okay, well we've already spoken about that,
Yeah.
so we'll just gloss over it.
Let's go back.
What is your number three?
Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Mine is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm going to assume we're using my Spidey sense. That is at your number two. Is it not? Does Shang-Chi top your list?
Oh no, I no. No, Spider-Man number one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I was going to say that
Yeah.
Shang-Chi's at your number two and Spidey.
Yes.
Okay. So right. So I'll quickly describe. Should we talk about Shang-Chi then? Because
Yeah.
okay, Shang-Chi, the best introduction to a new character of this
Yeah.
era.
Effing loved it. Yeah.
Him immediately, really cool. Wen Wu, really cool. Loved it all. The only thing that lets it down for me is the dragon fight at the end.
Yeah.
Like not even the actual end itself. I think the end of the dad sacrifice stuff, brilliant. Loved it. But when it turns into dragon fighting, I'm like, oh, but I loved all the cool martial arts stuff.
Yeah.
Why are we doing dragon fights?
Yeah. It did feel a bit like okay.
But all the characters are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Like that's the only reason it's third. If not, it would be second. Obviously, unfortunately, nothing will top the what's on number one because it's fan service and really good, well made. But yeah, Shang-Chi, just really really good. I live in Destin Daniel Cretton. I'm excited to see what he does with Kang Dynasty. Is he confirmed for that now? Is that
fair? Pretty, yeah, basically, yeah.
I'm super excited to see what he does. Yeah, just overall, I thought it was a triumph. I loved Simu Liu as well. I'm happy, he doesn't have to do stock photos anymore. Because he's also, I want to say, he's got a great personality. Like I've loved seeing him in like interviews and stuff since. He just seems like a really fun dude.
Yes.
And also Aquafina's in this, so you know it's gonna be funny because she's tremendous. So yeah, Shang-Chi, loved it. Right, my number two then is Hawkeye. And I know you're gonna like that's one of the level for you,
which is funny because mine's bottom second to last, and yours is top second. Yeah,
I love this. Like you do this everything I want it to be. Hawkeye is possibly my favorite of the original six Avengers. Which I know, don't laugh, don't scoff at me, don't scoff. I thought he had the best story in Endgame. Really, I did. I thought his story was really interesting. And I thought this was a continuation. I actually thought this grieved Black Widow more than the Black Widow series grieved Black Widow movie did. Like it's so weird that this celebrates her character more than her own movie. It bizarre, like I understand it's pre-death, but I felt like the Black Widow movie was solely there to set up the future, whereas this one actually reflects on the character. And I thought overall Jerry Renner was perfect in it. Haley Steinfeld is a triumph in it. I thought that I thought the villains were good in it. I understand people might not be happy with what Vincent D'Onofrio did in it.
Oh, that annoyed the hell out of me. What the?
I don't really care.
Well, screw you, because you've not seen Daredevil shit.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought he was really good in it. Like I know some people don't think he is good in it. I thought he was really good in it. I thought Echo as an introduction. Obviously, I'm super excited for that show.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
I thought the Tracksuit Mafia were a fun little side thing. I loved the Swordsman. Florence Pugh's in this again. It's Christmas themed. It's really fun.
Made me really crave macaroni.
I mean, look, freaking Hawkeye just LARPing. How can you not like this show?
I did start that bit. I felt like Hawk on that situation. So.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna let you enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy it.
No, I loved it, and I think for me, it's we both love Arrow. I mean, I've got a photo with Stephen Amell, for fuck's sake. I met the bastard. Lovely dude. He's not a bastard too.
Yeah, what? Decent
Um,
bastard. Yeah.
no, he's not a bastard. He's lovely. But yeah, no. Obviously, this isn't Arrow. It's heavily different. But
Far from Arrow.
oh, Jesus Christ. But no, I had a great time with it. I thought Kingpin was good in it. I thought it was all good. But our number one, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
no way.
Oh
Look,
my
nothing was
God.
going to top this. And I'm not even a massive fan of the nostalgia points of it. Like, Tom Holland is my favorite version of the character. So I'm not even going, I love this because I got to see Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield, which, by the way, they're both fantastic in it. Not taking that away. But for me, the best thing about
It's a great film.
The best thing about this film is Green Goblin.
Incredible, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like you said, the cameos are just a cherry on the cake. I think the film is just no faults to it, really. I think, and the stuff they do with, like, especially Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, when he like saves MJ, it's like the emotion. It is so good. It's such a good film. Such a good film.
Yeah, no, it's such a good film. It's one that you can watch a lot.
Yes, a lot of repeat value.
Doctor Strange is really good at it. I mean, despite what some people might think, I think people are like, Doctor Strange acts really strange in this. I'm like, does he?
There was rumors he was going to be a Skrull because it was like,
does he act dumb in this film? Not really. He's always been a bit reckless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and now he's not like the head of Comatage. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, Comatage. Yeah, I felt like it just worked really well. I thought it was tremendous. I don't think it's the end of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. In fact, if it is, I might hate this film a lot more than I do because I think it's a jumping off point for the future.
He's definitely got one more film in a cameo somewhere. I imagine he will be in the next. If they do a new trilogy, great.
But they're gonna they should do, right? Because realistically, I agree with Dr. Holland saying in interviews, right? We need a break because we do. We can't have a Spider-Man film. I know in the Sony contract it says they need to make a Spider-Man film every other year or every couple of years. But like, we do need a break from Tom Holland's Spider-Man because we can't have the poor boy making a film every 2 years. First of all, he wants to do other shit. Like, we can't just make him work his ass off on Spider-Man all the time because then he'll actually resent the role. But for us to just restart again after that would be no. Like, also, how interesting is it now that he's kind of? I know people are saying, "Oh, the reason they did this was so that they can write him out the MCU." That doesn't make any sense either. So they're not doing that. Let's be honest, Marvel and Sony aren't dumb. They've just made the highest grossing movie together of every Spider-Man movie. They're not going to go, do you know what? We shouldn't renew this deal. They're not going to do that. Like, obviously,
I think there's a good chance that we might see. Yeah.
Obviously, we had issues with the last deal, but that's because Disney were absolutely ridiculous with what they offered. But look, every fan of Spider-Man wants him in the MCU. I'll be annoyed if they take Tom Holland out. I think it will feel really jaded if they do take him out. I didn't. Yeah, just. They've already taken Vulture out of the MCU, so who fucking knows? That was a weird thing as well.
Oh my god! Yeah.
But
why are they doing it? Sony, stop making bloody Spider-Man films. Apart from the animation, Across the Spider-Verse was, the Into Spider-Verse story. Is that it? Yeah. The animations, but your Morbiuses, your Venoms, please stop. They're not
Venom. Sorry,
Venom. Yeah. Just stop it. Sony, what are you doing it? Come on. But to be fair, they have probably made the better Spider-Man films.
Yeah, totally.
Like the Tobey Maguire ones, I think. Yeah.
No. You're telling me the Tobey Maguire films are better than Tom Holland.
We're not good. We'll agree to disagree.
I will tell you, the best Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film is the first one, and I will not hear anything else.
What number 2? 2's the best.
It's my least favorite of the 3.
Right, goodbye, everybody. The podcast is over.
I love all 3 of them. Can we just agree that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the worst of all of them?
Oh, God, yeah. There we go.
I love you, Andrew Garfield. I love you, Andrew Garfield. Emma Stone, brilliant. It's just
If you ever get a photo shoot of him, he's gonna be like, "You said your
Dane
podcast."
Dane DeHaan is the issue there. Sorry, Dane. But yeah, there you go. So guys, that was our long Marvel kind of Phase 4 wrap-up show of Guardians, Wakanda Forever, and our rankings. Please do
Wow.
in a nice way. If you have a difference of our rankings and you want to let us know, because this will be a spare clip out on the show on the YouTube. If you do want to just let us know your rankings, you can do as long as you're nice about it, and then I won't delete your comment. Because we can all disagree. That's fine. Me and Reese disagreed on Hawkeye. Didn't see us throwing slander. We did, but we're mates, so it's fine.
Exactly.
But yeah, thank you guys. We're back. Next week we got Twin Dilemma Doctor Who. Never seen it before. So
Oh!
yeah.
I might just rewatch that just for the podcast. I may have to
Yeah.
have alcohol, but yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. So that's next
Okay.
week. And then we get
Who's
back
that
on
with?
James. John and Owen, and John is already resenting me for that coming out of the spinny wheel thing.
Oh no. Oh yeah, I'm
But
not surprised.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. You can check out Reese I got Forever 97 or GF97 YouTuber on Twitter. You recently made like a Jodie Whittaker 30th Doctor a mega trailer, which was good, I guess. I don't like giving Reese praise because all he gets on Twitter is praise. So I'm here to bring him back down to earth.
And this is my true critic. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I do love your trailers and all your work. It's very
Thank
good.
you.
Nothing will top that Spider-Man trailer though. I still think that's probably the best thing you made, in my humble opinion. Big fan of that. But yeah, go check him out. He does a bunch of other things as well. Sometimes he'll do some figure reviews and stuff or unboxings. I don't really know. There's a new figure set coming out,
Yeah, so I'll be doing a trailer for season 2, the classic Hartnell one in celebration of the box set. And once I get the new wave, which will be next week, I'll be doing a new video on that. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. By the way, there'll be an announcement next week, or already have happened. There'll be a YouTube video about it. Essentially, we've moved. So every if you're on audio platforms, the feed's changed. So we're still on Spotify, we're still everywhere. It's just different feed now. The original feed's gone because we've moved platforms. We've been swept away. And there'll also be a new in 2023. Oh God, there'll be a new way in which we're recording these for YouTube and all that as well. So the show's changing. Everyone get excited.
Exciting.
But we are moving audio streams and things like that away. So I think we're on the original platforms until the 9th. But once the 9th of December's come along, it'll be your original feeds will be gone, and you have to go over to the new feeds to check.
The regeneration is coming.
We're still on Spotify, Apple, we're everywhere. All the backlog will be there. We just moved, so it was no changes at all. But yeah, please do like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. For I'm hoping to make more content in 2023 once I'm done with uni and actually have some spare time to edit things. Because the issue is when you're a media student, one thing you don't want to do in your spare time is edit more stuff. Because you get sick to the back teeth of Premiere Pro, especially when it crashes all the fucking time. But you can also follow me on Twitter, AlexKing_Dom. Please do go follow the show on Twitter as well, at Thomas Pod, if Twitter's still around by the time this episode comes out, because who knows?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk to save the day. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. See you next time, and bye-bye.